So how long does the mortgage process take? Applying for a mortgage and getting your first house can seem extremely daunting, especially if you don't understand the whole process and what's going on at what stage. So in this video, I'm going to break down the mortgage process from beginning, when you first find the house, up to the point for when you actually pick up the keys. I'm Anthony from Bolt Mortgages, and if you like this video about the mortgage process and how things work, it'd be amazing if you could hit the subscribe button so you do not miss out on any other videos about buying a house. So the first stage of the process should be speaking to a mortgage advisor. The reason you need to do this up front is there's no point you going out and looking at properties if you do not know what your exact budget is. One of the problems you've got if you start looking at properties without knowing your budget, you might spend weekend after weekend looking at houses that you can't actually afford. Whereas if you've got your agreement in principle up front after speaking to a mortgage advisor, you've got a certificate that details exactly how much you can borrow, which lender it's with, and when you are actually making offers on properties, if you've got proof your mortgage is agreed up front, it gives you a higher chance of your offer being accepted if the other people haven't actually had any of that proof that their mortgage is agreed. Once your mortgage has been agreed in principle, the next step is to call all of the local estate agents, explain exactly what kind of property you're looking for, what your budget is, and then what they can do, whenever the new properties come to the market, they can call you up straight away and send you through all of the new properties for you to go out and view. Once you've found a property that you like, the next step is to make an offer through the estate agent. Once you've made the offer, there'll be a bit of backwards and forwards until you can agree on a price with the seller. Then once your offer is accepted, you then book the final appointment in with a mortgage advisor to go through the terms and conditions of the mortgage that you've been accepted for. So now you've found the dream property and you've sat down with your mortgage advisor. It's at this point where they'll break down the exact monthly repayments of the mortgage you've been agreed for, the term, whether you've gone for a fixed rate or tracker, how long the fixed rate mortgage might be for, and on top of that, they'll also break down any additional features such as cashback, free valuations, and also go through any relevant insurances that you're going to take out when you're actually buying a property. Once you've gone through this with the mortgage advisor and you're happy to submit the mortgage application, it's at this point your survey will be instructed. There are a few different levels of surveys. You've got your basic mortgage valuation, you've got your home buyers report, and you've got the full building survey. Once it's been instructed, there's two parts of the mortgage that needs to be agreed. The first one is the property itself, which is why the lender sends somebody out to value the property, and the second part is your income. What they would look at is bank statements, pay slips, ID, just to make sure that what's been keyed in on the initial agreement in principle up front is the same as what matches your pay slips. Once the valuation and the underwriter has signed off all of your case and your documents, you'll get something called the legal mortgage offer. Once that's issued, it usually lasts in the region of 6 months. You've now been fully accepted for your mortgage and it's down to your solicitor to deal with everything on the back end. Once the solicitor receives your offer, they'll put it onto their file, and in the meantime, they would have contacted the local council for something called local land searches on the property. These searches cost you about £300 up front, and that will raise loads of inquiries about the land the property has been built on, any building work or development that's been done on the property, and details about the local area. Once they've got the details back about these searches, they will be going backwards and forwards with the seller's solicitor, answering and asking questions until everybody's satisfied that there's going to be no issues with yourself when you actually buy this property. Once everything's been sorted out with the local land searches, and all inquiries have been answered, it will be a case of sending out contracts to be signed and also agreeing when you need to exchange contracts. At any point up to the exchange in contract stage, you can pull out without any additional costs. However, if you want to pull out after the exchange of contracts, you are liable for any costs of the seller or the buyer if you're selling the property. When you exchange contracts, it's at that point where the solicitor will request money for their services. They will request the deposit money, and they will also request any stamp duty cost that needs to be done. Once that has all been sent over, it's just a case of agreeing a date to complete and then going and picking up your keys. Again, the average process takes in the region of 13 to 16 weeks to go through this entire house buying process. However, you also need to be very aware that sometimes things can take a lot longer. If you found this interesting and you want to find out more details about the mortgage process, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we've also put another video here for you to click on to find more details as to how to set yourself up perfectly as a first-time buyer.